Hello YouTube friends, welcome back. This is the With Yarn in Front podcast. I almost forgot the name of my own podcast, and I believe this is episode 7. So welcome back to those of you returning, and to those of you who are new, welcome. You are very welcome here, and I'm so glad to have you. So we are in the very last few days of November here, and I wanted to post a quick update just because I have one big project that was finished that needs to get sent off here pretty soon for the holidays. So I wanted to share that. I have a couple of works in progress and maybe one little acquisition that I got that I thought I'd share. And then I also have some fun footage, video, film from the last couple of weeks with some holiday baking and cooking and some of those activities. And that will be, I'll post that at the end. So for those of you that wanna check that out, please feel free and stay and stick around. It's about 12 minutes long. And for those of you who don't, you can sign off and say sayonara. So welcome back, everybody. I can't believe it's almost December. Who is excited for Vlogmas? I love Vlogmas. I find myself watching Vlogmases all year long whenever I need that little boost of comfort and cheer. And I have some favorites that I go back to time after time just because they tend to be inspiring or calming. And so I would love for you to share who your favorite Vlogmases are down in the comments below if you'd like. A few of mine that stand out, I know I did mention that I recently rewatched last year's Vlogmas from, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name again. It's been a week, you guys, it's been a week. Oh my goodness, it'll come back to me in just a second. But meanwhile, I love Back to Blighty. I love to watch Rachel at So Ray Me. You know, all of those people over in England who have such picturesque, lovely Vlogmases are so fun. I used to love to watch Jacqueline Salem's because she'd always go around New York and that was fun to see. But I'm always looking for new Vlogmases, and I'm excited because I know there's a lot of new vloggers, podcasters out there for the knitting community. And so I'm hoping some of those new people will be doing Vlogmas as well. So if you're doing Vlogmas or if you have some favorites, please do share those below in the comments so we can all kind of check it out. So I'm really excited about Vlogmas. I'm really excited about Christmas and the holidays in general. I just love this time of year. I do already have my tree set up, but I haven't put out any of my other holiday stuff quite yet. So I need to go actually get that out of storage and put away all of my Thanksgiving and fall stuff. So hopefully that'll be coming up sometime in the next few days. All right, so what I do want to share with you, I do want to start out with just a huge thanks to all of you who came back and watched the last episode after me being gone for a whole year, and the beautiful, lovely, wonderful comments from all of you welcoming me back. It meant so much to me. And I just loved hearing you guys kind of share your stories, and many of you have been through similar situations in the past and were able to, you know, share that with me as well. And it was just really nice to hear from all of you. So I do love hearing from all of you. I try to respond to as many, if not all, the comments that I can. It may take me a little while depending on how many there are, but I do try to respond or at least click that little heart. So yeah, I wanted to share that. I did get a couple of people asking about supporting the channel. I don't have a Patreon. I don't plan on doing a Patreon. I don't think I have the bandwidth or the time to do that right now with work and everything else. There is a Ko-Fi coffee link in the description that if you're so inclined, but please don't feel like you need to. I'd love for you to go buy a coffee for yourself, honestly, and enjoy. Do you guys have a favorite beverage this time of year? My favorite is the chestnut praline latte from Starbucks. So, but I've been trying to use my coffee station as much as possible and not go to Starbucks. So it's a once in a while treat for sure. Okay, I remembered the name of the blogger. It was Sarah from the UK, and I still can't remember the name of her podcast. Oh, maybe it'll come back to me. If not, I did mention her in my last one. I feel terrible. But yeah, menopause brain. Good times. All right. If it pops back into my head, which often happens, at some point, I may just oddly interject and be like, that's who it was. And you're probably, a lot of you shouting at me right now, the name of the podcast. But yeah, it's not there. So let's talk about some finished objects. I have one finished object. I have completed my third anthology throw. This one is for my niece, Willa. She's a big reader, so I'm really hoping that she's gonna find this just to be a wonderfully comfy, cuddly thing to wrap herself up in, and she's tiny. She's only 4. So yeah, let me show you it. This is kind of the half version, and I'll just kind of lift it up and not talk while I'm lifting it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. Wow, that took some some arm strength. So it is done. Obviously that's it folded in half. It is quite large. And I do love how these points come out when you do the lace at the bottom. So I did pin it all out, and I took some video of that when it was all pinned out, which I'll put at the end here. I remembered. It's Yarn Mugs. Sarah at Yarn Mugs. I love watching hers. So her Vlogmas. Okay, anyway, I digress. So this is done. It is done. It is ready to send off to my niece for Christmas. I just have to get a couple of other little items that I'm gonna wrap up with it. And yeah, I can't believe it, but it's done. I've done 3 anthology throws in the last year. It's a great pattern. If you're thinking of knitting it for using your advents this year, or just using scrap yarns, I highly recommend it. It is just, I mean, even when you get to the end, it's a lot of stitches. It's 1,100, I think. It's over 1,100 stitches at the very end, but it is just beautiful. It's so worth it. It's warm, it's cozy, and it just shows off yarns so well. So that's the anthology throw. That's my only finished object this week, but I do have something that I've been working on. So I had just cast these on with my last project and, or my last webinar, and I've already finished 1 sock. So these are very potato chippy, very quick and easy to knit. So these are the mermaid shell socks from Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. These were part of her sock society this year. I love Helen Stewart's patterns. I love being able to check off each row as I go. I know it's not everybody's jam. I love it because I'm a list maker and a checker offer. So I love being able to just keep track of things and check that off. So I have finished 1 sock and I'm almost halfway through the other sock. So let me pull out the finished sock. All right, so this is it. Obviously it's not on blockers because I haven't blocked it yet, but I just wanted to show you the pattern on the front of this sock. So this is the mermaid seashell, and it's got this great twisted rib that kind of runs down the whole side of the sock into the foot and then down to the toe. Regular heel flap and gusset, which is my favorite, slip stitch heel. I did a 1x1, and this was in the pattern actually, a 1x1 twisted rib. And what I really love about this sock is that the pattern starts in the cuff and just seamlessly flows down into the rest of the sock. So you can kind of see that there. So it's a great pattern. Here's the second one that I'm currently working on. So I just finished the lace part at the top, and now I'm working my way down the top of the leg to the heel. So it'll be really fast because it's mostly just knit, you know, once you get past that lace section. This yarn is from Bad Sheep Fiber Co. They used to be out of Alaska, but then they moved to Florida. And this was from their Paris collection last spring, I believe it was. And this is the Vivant colorway, which means alive in English. So it's this really beautiful kind of creamy white with these golds and yellows and pinks and blues, and yeah, I think it's just really beautiful. So it's working up really nicely in the sock. You can see on the bottom here all that speckling and all those different colors. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these or put them in my little gift knit box for next year. We shall see. I have no idea. But I'm working away on those, and I hope to have them finished in the next few days. All right, so I did want to share another craft that it was initially kind of one of my first crafting loves that I started with when I was really young, like 18, 19 in college, and that's cross stitch. So let me get a drink, and then I will share a few of the things that I'm currently working on with that. This is my newest Christmas mug acquisition. Isn't it adorable? I got it at Barnes & Noble. I couldn't say no. Okay, so I love cross stitch, and when I was younger, in my 20s, 20 some years ago, I really dove in head first. And I started with Mirabilia patterns. And if any of you are familiar with Mirabilia, she does these beautiful fairies and mermaids, and I've done quite a few of her patterns. They're quite large and they take quite a bit of time. And I think I started this current project probably about a decade ago. It doesn't get a lot of love from me, partly because at one point my dog chewed up the pattern. So it's got some holes in it. So it's and not Grace, but a different dog. So it's taken me a little while. But this is the Feather Fairy. And this was released with another one called the Petal Fairy, I believe. And I knit that one and I gave it to my grandmother in a frame. And then when my grandmother passed in 2020, my mom got it. So it's in good hands. But anyway, so I have been working on this for quite some time. It lives in this beautiful bag from Stitching the High Notes. She doesn't make these anymore, which is kind of sad because I really love these for cross stitch with the window in the front. But I am lucky enough to have a few of these from her when she was making them. So this one is in this really beautiful floral fabric. I've got all of my colors in there, and this is what I have done so far. So you will be able to kind of see, let me find the way it goes here. So the feathers go towards the bottom. So this is the bottom of her skirt, and then her hand is kind of coming back here to touch her skirt, so her feather skirt. So this is what I've done so far. It's on probably about 30, 32 count linen, and it takes a little bit of time to do this, but because I use, I do counter cross stitch, I actually make a grid using just one strand of like sewing thread, and that helps me stay on pattern. So it does take quite a while because this is going to be a big pattern. So if I hold it back here, you can see how big it is. So but they're so worth it when they're done. So that's where I am with this. It's just using DMC floss. And she also loves the metallic krennic, I think that's how you pronounce it, or kranic, threads as well. So, and she tends to put a lot of beads on her projects. So this is Mirabilia. This is an older pattern, and yeah, so that's what I'm working on with that one. I also have another bag. This is not from Stitching the High Notes. This was from the 805 Stitcher, and I actually got it from LyricStitches. She did like a pattern release with these really fun birds and gourds patterns. I'm not working on that one currently, but it is in this bag. So the pattern that I'm currently working on is from LyricStitches, and it's this really beautiful quote with this barn owl. And I, as you know, I love barn owls. So I have not gotten very far on this one either, but when I hold it up, you'll see that I'm currently kind of in this section. Here we go. This is also a fairly large piece. So I love this lacy detail at the bottom. Isn't that pretty? I think it's really pretty. So it's a quote. I can't remember who the quote is from, but I'm looking forward to, you know, continuing to work on that. And it uses mostly floss or threads from Weeks Dye Works. So Weeks and Dinky dyes. So yeah, and that is this is a 32 count linen from Weichelt. So put that one away. If you've ever cross stitched, you know you can work like a 1-inch square. It takes you like an hour to do one 1-inch square, but it's still pretty fun. All right, now this one I've called my decades project. It's probably going to be like a multi-decades project, but when I saw this come out a few years ago, I had to have it. So this is in a bag that my mom gave me. It's a Harry Potter bag. It's amazing. It's got this cute little owl with the letter on it. It also has the window in the front. And this is, I don't remember who made this bag. Let me see if I can find a name inside. Oh. Bummer, I can't. If you know who made this, please put it in the show notes, or in the comments below. This is a pattern from Ink Circles. It's called A Dog's Declaration. It's a sampler pattern. And you know me, I love dogs. It's also got squirrels in there, and it's just really beautiful. This is going to be a huge project. So the finished dimensions are 13.5 inches by 17.5 inches. And let me get these back in here. It's using these beautiful hand-dyed Valdani threads. And let me kind of show you where I'm currently at. This is as much as I've done. So it's all crinkly. I'm a stitch in hand person. I don't use a hoop normally. And this is a very large, very large piece of hand-dyed fabric that I ordered when I first got this kit. It was back in 2019. So this is the beginning of that section where it says life, and I think it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of squirrels. So you could see a little dog there, There's a flower and the squirrels fighting over the acorn or the nut. There's a little bird. I just think it's adorable and beautiful. And so again, if you look at this, this is kind of just the section that I've completed. Yeah. So it's gonna take a while. It's a labor of love, but it is something I love to do, and I pull it out, especially when I get tired of knitting. But knitting has really taken over in the last few years for me. So this one hasn't seen as much love as probably it should. But it will get done eventually, hopefully. All right, and then the last things that I've been working on are in this bag, with this nutcracker bag, and I do believe this one was from Stitching the High Notes as well. There's a little nutcracker charm there. And these are ornaments, they're nutcracker ornaments from Satsuma Street. And I know I've started one of these. I just need to find the one that I started. I think it was the Mouse King. Yep. So they come with this perforated paper, and then you actually cross stitch the design onto the perforated paper, and then you cut it out to make the ornament. So this is what I have done so far, and I'll show you what he's supposed to look like in the end. Here you go, and he's kind of holding his little sword there. So I'm really close to being done with this. Maybe it'll happen this year. But I do have quite a few of the other ones. So there's this Santa Nutcracker, Sugar Plum Fairy, the Nutcracker King, and Drosselmeyer. Yeah, that guy. So those are kind of my other stitchy, crafty things that, you know, fill up my time. And yeah, I'd love to know, do any of you guys cross stitch? Do you embroider? I love to embroider as well. I just have, you know, I think a lot of us tend to be multi-crafterous, you know, like, just love to do all kinds of different crafts, and that's okay. Look at the inside of this bag. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, just think it's so pretty. So that's my crafts. The last thing that I thought I'd share with you is just one recent acquisition that I made. I haven't bought a whole lot of other things because I knew I had my Advent coming. I got my Christmas in Scotland box from Rachel at So Me, and I'm super excited about that. I've also made up a few Advents, which you'll see a little bit of footage of at the end of this video for my partner's 2 boys. So I'm really excited for them to get to partake in that this year. But the last thing that I purchased was from Deborah at Candy Shop Yarns. She was doing kind of a clear out of some sweater quantities that she just wanted to get out of her studio to make space for some other things. And I was watching her podcast a few weeks ago, and she showed this yarn, and it was so beautiful. I was like, oh man, if nobody snatched that up, I'm gonna grab it because it's just gorgeous. So it's on her luxury base, and it's baby alpaca, silk, and cashmere. And she hand dyed this. The colorway is called Sand, but she dyed this using avocados. And I mean, it's got the most gorgeous drape. It's got this beautiful sheen to it. And just this really, really warm, it's very, very much sandy, a color. So I have 4 skeins of it because it was a sweater's quantity. I don't know if I'm gonna make a sweater. It may become a really large, squishy shawl. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. Because I wear shawls more than I do sweaters. but I've also considered maybe making it into a cardigan because I do wear cardigans a lot as well. Speaking of wearing things, yep, I'm wearing it. This is my stowaway chevron sweater that I showed you last time that I finished, and I'm wearing it and it's on, and here's kind of a close-up look. It's got a kind of a wider neckline, and it's got the slubby bits to it. It goes right to about my natural hip, which is a good length, and this is kind of where the sleeves come out to. So, you know, they're a little bit longer, but not super long, which I like the length of. So just right up to kind of here. So yeah, I love this sweater. Oh my gosh, it's so soft and warm, and really I just only need like a tank top underneath it because it is plenty warm to wear. So yeah. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed. This is definitely probably the shortest podcast I've ever done, even with the video at the end. I hope you'll enjoy that if you do watch it. Just some of the things that have been happening over the last few weeks that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, Vlogmas, guys, we're like, geez, almost there. Like 2 sleeps, 1 sleep. I don't know, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. So I hope you guys are too. And yeah, I will chat with you next time. I don't know when that'll be again, but I did want to make sure that I shared this beauty with you before she got shipped off to her new home. And I'm so pleased with it. And I know that my nieces will be super pleased with them as well. So they're super worthy of it. They're the light of my lives. So all right, friends, well, enjoy the video after this. If you stick around, leave a comment below, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff if you'd like to return and see more from this channel. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. I wish you all a really great rest of your week, and we'll see you in December. Bye.